Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca Lombardo, fractional CMO and host of VendorVibes. Today, I am here with Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine.
Hey, Rebecca. I'm so happy we're doing this.
Me
I'm so
too, me too. So I'm going to jump right into the first question and tell me what is Affixify?
What is Affixify? The name no one can ever say. You did amazing. So Affixify is an unbiased, essentially matchmaking platform. So we help the hospitality industry find partnerships. They typically it's technology, but also agencies, consultants, management companies, asset managers. And so what we do is we use an algorithm that helps the hotelier or the buyer, as we call them, they really identify what are their needs when they're going to market to find a PMS or someone like you to help with CMO work, or maybe they need a management company. Our system allows them kind of RFP style to enter in everything they need for the search, and then we actually serve up their best match or fit to potential partners based on their needs. So versus the old school referral style, which can work sometimes where, someone asks a friend or we've always used this person. Our platform actually serves up best fit partnerships based on individual need.
I love that. I've seen too many times where people will just ask a colleague or a friend, like, who are you using? And they're
Right.
a totally different market. They have totally different guests, and like the answer might not be perfect fit for them.
Yes.
So that sounds wonderful. I'm so glad you're doing this. Now, how are you different?
Yeah, I love this question. So, had you asked me this 22 months ago when we launched, I would have said what everybody says, which is we don't have competition. We do have some competition. We've learned this. So, what we do differently is I would say the highlight is the lack of bias. So, we do not do any like pay to play, for example. No one can pay us more to get a better match. We are completely agnostic. And then the other thing that makes us different is we are a platform and we're not a marketing engine, if that makes sense. So, although we could be a channel for like someone like you to implement for a client, we are not a marketing engine. So, we're not doing paid ads or reviews, which is kind of what our competition does. And they do a great job, by the way. We are purely a platform to navigate research for partnerships. And to my knowledge, we haven't found anyone doing that exactly. So that's kind of what sets us apart. And we've been coached to say our proprietary algorithm is what makes us different, but that kind of goes over people's heads. So that breaks it down a little bit.
Good. So just to be clear, it's like so good that we're doing this video because it might be challenging for somebody who hasn't met you at a conference or,
Right.
hasn't networked their way into this. This kind of discovery is going to be really helpful for them to get to know you a little bit better. So that's great.
I love that. Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. So, what areas do you serve? I mean, if you come to Affixify and say, "Hey, I'm in this country," is there a limitation?
So there's no limitation on our platform itself. We've had actually recently this year, we've had matches as far as Kenya. We've had a couple in New Zealand. We have a new build group in Mexico. And then, of course, a lot of North America. So the platform itself is not limited. Where we have seen just transparently limitations is sometimes the vendors being matched. Maybe they come back and say, you know what, we're actually not ready to service that area. Does not happen often, I will tell you, but there have been occasions. We even had a very tiny island off of the coast of Vietnam. And the vendor they wanted to talk with came back and said, we just can't service this area right now. And that's understandable. So while we as a Fixify are actually, we pretty quickly became global, we are limited sometimes to where the vendor can service. I'd say that might happen less than 5% of the time.
Okay. And then what would you describe your perfect client or perfect profile match to be for somebody to work with Affixify?
On this side, on the algorithm matching, we have another product for brands. So on this side, this would be for an independent or a management company. If you look at our data, the primary user is a management company, which is phenomenal, but they tend to represent independents needing tech, right? So if you really boil it down, it's the hotels that have invested a lot in their brand and they're up and running, but they may not have the staff to go out and actually do the due diligence on tech. The reason we don't typically service brands, we do have one brand in the mix, but a lot of brands have pre-vetted all tech and it's very strict. So we have a separate product for them that we're starting to talk about. But this particular conversation, it would be management companies and independents. And then on the tech side, we're completely agnostic. So really any vendor that finds that they would like the investment to be listed in the marketplace, they're a great fit. We really don't, we try not to turn vendors away at all unless we don't really have a category where they can fit, like if they're brand new and they're kind of figuring out their placement.
Okay. Would you say that you've seen the most success with companies that have been around for at least a year or so?
I do. I actually just had a conversation with a fresh startup, haven't even fully launched. And we talked to them and basically said, maybe wait a little bit until you know your brand positioning and really how you're going to categorize and really what your product is going to look like. So there does have to be some level of that. And Stephanie, my co-founder, our COO, is constantly vetting these vendors and helping them navigate this and playing kind of advisor as far as where they would fit. And so she kind of uses her expertise to help them know if they're ready or not.
Okay. And then do you think that it's going to be mainly a hotelier type hospitality brand that would be the best fit, or is there any alternative lodging companies that you say you might be able to work with?
Right now, it is hotelier. We have had a bit of an expansion into outdoor hospitality lately. So RV resorts, that glamping resorts, and then we do find crossover with things like short-term rentals. I would love to explore that more. Some vendors can cross over, so we're working on how to get that messaging out.
Well, this is one of those ways.
I know.
Perfect. So if you think about somebody who's really happy with you right now, can you share a little bit about why they're so happy?
I would love to. So, your timing of this question is really fun because last week we actually helped a independent hotelier. They posted about us on LinkedIn, which made my whole day. They were looking for a very specific need, and they needed three integrations, but two specific that they had is for booking engine, and they had just about given up. They had just about said no one can integrate to this very unique stack that we have. And I know this person. And so I said, you know what, let me see what we can do. And we went through the search in Affixify. And because of the data, the algorithm was able to find them a vendor that actually had those integrations. And she was so relieved. She actually did a post about us on LinkedIn about how she said it feels like finding Mr. Right or something along those lines. But that is exactly why we exist, because people will often give up thinking there's no solution to this. I have a very unique need. And then we come in and we actually help them find it. Sometimes lesser known vendors can come up in that search. So
That's amazing. And I think, especially in a day and age when we're overwhelmed by the options and choices out there, like the Amazon effect, of just like so much, having your algorithm, be that help, I think it's only going to increase in your appreciation levels.
thank you. Yeah, it's a tough time to navigate through what we call the marketing fluff. I love marketers, by the way. You guys are brilliant. I think sometimes it's hard on the vendor side to really understand, like, oh my gosh, what is right for me? And so, yes, that's exactly why we exist.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's why I like to ask about like what is your ICP? Like what is your ideal client profile? Like what is a perfect fit? Because it's okay to say not a perfect fit. It's totally
Yeah,
okay.
we should say that more, right?
We
Like
should
we,
maybe say that
we
more.
should say that more
Yeah,
and help everybody. So
yeah, awesome. Well, if somebody listens to this and wants to get in touch with you, learn more, what's the best way to reach out?
So you can email me, Jasmine at getaffixify.com. But honestly, follow me on LinkedIn, Jasmine Seliga. That's the main source of our organic business and where you'll kind of get the raw, unfiltered version of, my thoughts, my experience, and even sometimes a post about my kids. So follow me on LinkedIn. That's a big one. And then yes, Jasmine at getaffixify.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure speaking
Thank
with you.
you. So good, Rebecca. Can't wait to have you on our show too very soon.
Sounds good. Cheers, everyone.